Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Rowe. I'm the founder of Standout Media Group, and I'm also the publisher of Addiction 911 magazine. And I'm here today for the Business Mastermind Show. And I want to thank everybody for joining us here, both on Blab and on Periscope. It's great to have you here. This will also be on my podcast, Standout Online Show with Christina Rowe. So this will be as a replay as well if you want to listen to it on iTunes. So I'm really excited to be here today to talk about how to get your head in the game and mindset for success. Now, I'm waiting for my co-host, heidirichards Mooney, who I don't know if she's having some technical difficulties, but she's not on yet. But since we do have about 11 of you here over on Blab, and we do have people watching on Periscope as well, I thought maybe I'll just start this way. You guys, she'll jump in when she gets here. So welcome everybody again. And one of the first things that I want to discuss about mindset for success, and I think this is really, really critical, is your habits. Having good habits is really, really important if you're going to be successful. And the little things that you do every day make a big difference. Are you in the habit of making your bed? How many people here make your bed every morning? Be honest. Type in the comments. Do you make your bed? If you don't, believe it or not, I asked this question at a networking meeting several years ago that I was conducting, and there were people who said they never make their bed. And that sets the tone for your entire day for success. To me, not making the bed makes me feel like I'm undressed, that I haven't dressed for the day. So, little things like that, the habits that you're in every day are so important. So having that habit and developing habits that you're going to do for success, like one thing I do every day is when I'm having coffee first thing in the morning, I have my phone in front of me. I go on LinkedIn and I use the LinkedIn Connected app. So that's a separate app than LinkedIn. And I wish people happy birthday on that app and congratulate them on their job searches and their, the new things, anniversaries that are going on. And I'm in the habit of doing that every day. Then, this is even before I finish my breakfast, then I connect with at least 10 people on LinkedIn. So that's a habit for success because that connects me to new people. I have gotten a lot of business, believe it or not, just by wishing people happy birthday on LinkedIn. Which is funny. I mean, people then go to your profile, your rankings rise in LinkedIn, more people see you, but it's a habit of success. So think about what kind of habits can you develop in your life, in times when you're just, having a cup of coffee, maybe you're at the post office waiting online, you're doing these things that you have, time to kill at the doctor's office. What little habits can you put in place and to get you, to move you toward the success that you're looking for? So that's just one example of something that with habits, but having good habits and discipline is probably one of the greatest things you can do for yourself to keep your mindset, on target and do things to move you forward. When you feel like your life is in chaos and everything is just, up in the air and you don't have a schedule and a plan and you haven't developed habits, it's very easy to get discouraged during the day and let things take you off track. So having a schedule and having, it's really, really important as well. One of the things that I like to do, which I make a to-do list. Now I have here, this is just my list. This is like my big planner here. But what I like to do is I do a brain dump. Oh, there's Heidi. Let me get her in here. Okay, let me say hello to Heidi. Now Periscope. Hi, Heidi. We started because it's about 5 minutes after, so I'm just started. Everybody's in already. So okay. Welcome. So I was just
in the room, but it didn't show me, and I logged out, logged back in. So it was weird. It had the countdown, and it was strange. So anyway, here I am. Hi,
great.
Everyone.
So Heidi's here. This is great. If you like what we're saying, please give us some hearts. We're also on Periscope right now. If you can give us some hearts, give us some claps. And also, can you tell a little bird here on Blab, if you press this little button here, you can tweet. So we'd appreciate it if you tweet this out. And of course, follow us. We follow back, right, Heidi?
Oh,
yeah, on Blab, I will follow you back. I really believe in that. So I want to see what you're doing as well. So we were talking a little bit about habits for success. And I think I might have just lost, excuse me, one sec. I might have just lost our Periscope. Let me just see if I can get back on here. Yep, we're still on. Okay, so we were talking about habits for success, and I was talking about a schedule, and Heidi's familiar with this. One of the things I do is I do a brain dump every day. The night before, I write down everything on my to-do list, and I then look through the to-do list, and I say, what are 3 things on that to-do list that I call, like, you can call them weeds or yucky chores or things that I really don't want to do, and I identify those 3. Then I identify 3 ships, meaning 3 things that if I send out, they're going to bring back money. So 3 tasks a day that I can do out of that to-do list that are going to bring me back a profit. And this has really, really been helpful. So you can actually just get a planner like this, and you can just like highlight, what your 3 ships are going to be. What are you going to send out that's going to bring you back money? And what are those tasks that you really, really don't like to do, but you have to do? And you put those in. It really, out of all the things you have to do, those are the most important things that you have to do each day. So that'll really keep you on track and make you feel less overwhelmed, to keep your head, head on straight and not feeling frustrated and like, oh my gosh, I didn't get all my things on the to-do list done. Heidi, would you use a similar type of tool each day?
Oh, absolutely. I use, I just make lists. I probably do a little bit different in that I just create a list. Mostly I create a list of the top 3 things I want to get accomplished, and everything else on that list are those things I maybe like to get accomplished, but can go on other days and whenever. So for instance, here's my list for today. And I've already crossed out 5 things, woohoo, and it's only noon. So I'm very excited. And that was even with internet issues. I think it's important. I think creating lists are the most important thing. Once you create a list, it makes your subconscious more apt to complete the task. So I love the 3 ships and the way Christina describes it. I had never heard that until we did our mastermind session with our group a couple of months ago, our first. And I think that it's really a good process. The most important thing is to have some sort of system. And you're going to hear us talk a lot throughout all of these Blabs about the importance of putting systems in place, for every little thing you do. If you create systems for everything you do, you'll find your life is so much easier. Even if you're a right brain, creative person like me, I prefer to write than do anything else. So, finding the systems, I find writing them down is part of the creative process for me. So then I'm more apt to do it because it embeds in your psyche and your memory. I agree with you. I think that those are really good things to do. And welcome to everybody. Looks like we've got quite a few people in the room. So hi, everyone. Yes, and thank you for all the claps. Yay!
Thank you. This is actually, I didn't invent the ships, and I forgot I forgot the woman who did. This is her planner that I bought. It's called Organize Your Gorgeous Chaos Daily Action Planner. So I want to give her credit, even though I forgot what the name of the person is. Oh, it's Angela Gia Kim. And Savor the Success. And this is a really good, another great planner you can use. And this is about like $40, a 3-month at a time planner. So Savor the Success. This is very, very good. I want to give credit where credit is due. So that's really important. What Heidi was just saying is, the first thing you want to do is create good habits and have daily, break it down, small little tasks for success that you can implement throughout your day, which creates a system for success. And if you stick to doing that every day, that's going to keep your mindset straight. That's going to keep you from wandering all over the place and getting confused and frustrated, because what often happens with your mindset is something can throw you off. You get an email, there's a customer who's angry or a client or something happens and it sets your mood for the day. And then you get in a bad mood. Has that happened to you, Heidi? Like it just sets off your day?
Yeah, that's why I don't check emails first. I do high productivity things first. And then I check my emails about an hour into my day. And the reason I don't do it first, unless sometimes I'm working on a technological issue that I need to get cleared up. And if I went to bed knowing this thing wasn't resolved, I may. But for the most part, I try not to do that. So I recommend don't check your emails first because it does. You're right. It sets the tone. Now, sometimes it sets the tone good, like when you're having an event and you have all these people registering, you're like all excited. But then once in a while you get, like Christina says, you get maybe an email that someone, an issue wasn't resolved or wasn't resolved the way it should be, and you've got to do more work on it. And there your day starts off now with something that wasn't on your list. And so I rather do a few things and get some things accomplished, and then do that. And then I always save my low activity things for later in the afternoon when I might not be feeling my most productive or most creative. So you as an individual will know when your most creative time is. For me, it's between 10 and 2. So anything before 10, I do like mundane tasks that need to be done for the day. And anything after 2, I may write or something, but I don't try to take on the big projects like web design or, you know, trying to figure out a tagline for a client or branding or anything like that. And what about you, Christina?
Well, yeah, I mean, I set my day depending on what, you know, if I have clients to speak with or different tasks to do. But what I think is really important is that you're going to have unexpected things happen, no matter how great of a schedule you are and how much you want to stay on task. And that becomes a mind game. You know, are you going to let whatever just happened? Maybe it's something personal. Maybe, you know, you're having a fight with your husband or your spouse or your kids did something. Are you going to let that throw you off for the entire day? And that's when you have to have the discipline to say, okay, you know, it's a work day, that's happened, but I'm going to put that aside till I finish what I need to do. And that's hard because a lot of times something can just throw you right off your game for the day. And you know, and then you're in a bad mood and you're just not as productive as you should be for the day. So it's something to watch out for and something to, if you have a schedule and if you have your daily tasks, you can quickly get back on track because you could just move back to those things again and say, all right, I'm going to deal with this later. You know, I'll deal with this at 7 o'clock tonight when work is done. Because too often, you know, if you go with the wind can take you in many directions, right? And you can wind up being, you know, you have a great day where you get a lot done. Then you have a day when you're aggravated and you get nothing done and your mind's all over the place. So, you know, already having in place a schedule, a plan, and good habits is going to greatly increase your chances of, you know, having success for that day, for that week, you know, for that month and for that year. So I think that's really, really important. And that brings me to, you know, what Heidi was just talking about is protecting and managing your time. Very, very crucial for your mindset for success. And that's what she was saying. She knows what times of day, right, Heidi, that don't work for you to do certain tasks. And that's really, really important, knowing yourself, knowing if you're a morning person or you're not. I'm not a morning person. Heidi, are you a morning person?
I'm a mid-morning person.
I get my best work done, believe it or not, between like 6:30 at night and 10 o'clock at night or 9:30 at night till I shut everything down. I don't know why. I'm just more of an evening person, no matter how much. And sorry, Hal Elrod, author of The Miracle Morning. I love you, love your book. But I tried that. Oh my God. I tried that. And, you know, you get up at 5 a.m. and he has great things in there about doing certain things, which I agree with, but I could not. I was like a zombie. I mean, I just cannot get out. I've never been a morning person. I could stay up to 5 o'clock in the morning on the computer. Well, I can't get up at 5.
I get up early. For me, 7:30 is early. So that's my usual day, 7:30. But like you, I go to bed quite late. I think that, you know, the creative types tend to, because there are times when I get a spurt of energy. A lot of times at night, I do my writing. Like I'll write my pulse posts or articles, things like that. I'm usually not doing client work then. I usually try to get my client work done early in the day, simply because they like it when you can email them at 3 o'clock and say, hey, it's done, you know. So right. I guess that's just the system I've created. But again, it really depends on, you know, you talk about protecting your time. I used to use a day timer. I religiously used it, bought one every single year. And I used that for many years. And now I use mostly Google Calendar, online calendars. One really good calendar to protect your time. If you're like Christina and I, we do, like, sometimes we'll give a free 15-minute consultation to people. And there's some great tools. One of them I use is Calendly, Calendly. I think it's .com or CANDL. I'll look it up and I'll type it into the room. But that's a really good one where you can actually have people go online and book time with you, and you set the time parameters that you want people that you're going to be available for those consultations. And we're talking like 10 or 15-minute free consultations. Calendly, also the pro version, offers you the opportunity to charge for your time. So you can have people book you for your half hour or an hour consultations, and you put the time, the price and everything in there, and they go in, they book the time, they pay for it, and done. And then it goes into your own, and it integrates with your Google Calendar, and you know what's going on for your whole day. And you've got an appointment at 2:00 with someone to talk about, whatever. So I love the online tools. I'm really, really trying. I'm not as adept at the apps. Christina's the app goddess. She knows more about apps. You got a lot more apps than I do. I've got a few, but the online tools, I think, we're just so fortunate to have so many choices today. I guess that's a good word for it, choices. So I'm going to find that URL and type it. And if anybody in the room has a really good tool that they use to manage their time, feel free to type it in the chat. Yeah. We'd love to know.
That would be great. And if anybody would like to, we'll open it up now. If anybody wants to jump in and has any suggestions of what you do to keep your head on straight and create a good mindset for success, you can jump in here and we'll bring you on. I also like a good app that I use is YouMail. And it's You and Mail, and it's an app, and it's about the lowest plan I think is $5 a month. There's a business plan for $8 a month. And what it does is when somebody calls you, it will transcribe the phone call for you and send it to you in a text message. And it'll also text back the person who called. Now, why I like this is I schedule all of my phone calls. That's one thing how I protect my time is I never randomly answer the phone. Because if I did that, I'd be all over the place, bouncing around all day long. And plus, I'm often with clients, so I'm not going to interrupt to pick up the phone. And what it'll do is it'll send out a text message to the people who, whoever just called me will get a text message saying, please email me and give my email address in order to schedule a phone call with me. So most people who will do that, then I can schedule then using, a calendar tool like Heidi's mentioned in order to schedule time for them to speak. So it's got a lot of really great features. And I suggest you get in that habit of scheduling your phone calls and, because if you start just picking up the phone randomly, you never know where, what direction the day is going to take you. I mean, unless, of course, you have a business where you have a storefront business or, if you have have type of business where you're taking appointments all day and you really have to have somebody, a receptionist do that for you. But if you're, a small business person, you can, avoid having to answer the phone all day long. You'll definitely stay on schedule and won't be at the mercy of everybody else's schedules. So that's really important. So anybody want to jump in, we can take you in here. And the third thing I have down here for, really the ultimate is don't let obstacles stop you. Right, Heidi? It's the hardest part, So how do you deal with that, Heidi, when you encounter an obstacle in your business? How do you forge forward and on track?
When you say an obstacle, give me an example? Because I don't find anything to be an obstacle. So
that's a really good idea. You're right.
What would you consider an obstacle?
Oh, gosh. An obstacle can be anything from, let's say you try to make a sale and it didn't go through, or something's happened, anything that's happened in the way of what you want to do.
I recently changed web hosts, and I was having a lot of trouble with the current host. I could go into a whole rant. We should have a whole session on web hosting, but mainly the point is that this was an individual who was a third party hosting my site through another company. And so I was having issues and not able to get it resolved in a timely fashion. So I've decided to take all my sites that were hosted by this individual and go to a new host. I love the new host, by the way. So this morning I get this nasty email from the person saying that I never canceled and that I owed her a lot of money and that blah, 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 blah. So anyway, at first I started to take a very adversarial approach. And think about this when you're thinking about how you respond or react to things. I've learned to respond better than react, and I used to react. So I wrote the nasty email back, but I didn't send it. And the reason is I needed to get it out of my system and just put on paper what, in case anything came back, what would, how I would react, and it was a reaction. And basically I was telling her all the reasons why I had changed and what little things that I felt she had not done, to protect my sites and, how much money it cost me to change, blah, blah, blah. But then the second email I wrote was, oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. Let's leave on good terms. I'm not going to be able to pay you the entire balance today, but I will pay you parts of it. And hopefully that will solve everything. And I apologize if you did not receive my cancellation notice, which I sent 5 weeks ago. And I said that was one of the issues was because email, Christina, the email issues I've had for the last 2 months with the old host. Huge email issues. And you're not the only one who told me. So that was really the main reason that I had switched that. And, I have a whole litany of things, but I didn't need to go into them. So I have not heard back, but that was what I started my day with today, because I got another notice of that I had a past due balance, which I had told her 3 weeks ago that I was not going to be continuing with that company. So we'll have a whole talk about that. But the whole thing is, there's, a couple of great books by my dear friend, Bob Berg. One is Turn Adversaries into Allies. It's his latest book. Great read. And it was kind of a sequel to Winning Without Intimidation, which was the very first book that I read of Bob Berg's. And it's all about how you approach your challenges for the day, how you approach people and challenges. And both of those books were just really, really life-changing for me, because I realized that, we can do whatever we want, and we can react in any way we want, but what are the long-term effects of that reaction? And so when I started thinking about all the nasty things I was writing back, I realized that it won't do me any good. It won't help her. Maybe one day I'll send it to her, but I'll put it in a way of positive suggestions to make her business better. But it did feel good to write it down, because I was just so upset this morning. So that's kind of how I handled that challenge. And then, as I said, I sent out the second email. I have not heard back. And no, I prefer not to say the name of the host, because maybe I'm the only one who's had that issue. And, if you tell me the name of your host, I can tell you, yes, I will tell you that it's not that person, because I doubt very seriously that anybody on this call will have the same host that I had. And that's all I have to say about the host. Sorry, I went into my diatribe about it. Christina.
I see Daryl has to leave. Daryl, definitely connect with us on LinkedIn. We're both on LinkedIn. I'm under Christina Rowe, so definitely connect with me. We'll accept you as well. And I hope everybody's connected with us here. And anybody who's still watching on Periscope, thank you for hanging in there. If you want to give us some hearts, we'd appreciate it. So yeah, Heidi, I think you really, really, you nailed it with what you said about how we react. And that is really the crucial point of success with your mindset, is that, things are going to happen every day. And how are you going to react? That's the only thing you can control, is your reaction. So we're kind of, as people, we are always influenced by our moods. If something good happens, which we perceive as good, we're in a good mood. If something bad, which we perceive as bad, happens, we're in a bad mood. So we're at the mercy of other people, other circumstances, and other things, unless we take the attitude that you have, that, right? I'm the only one who can control my reactions to anything. And instead of judging what's good and what's bad, we say to ourselves instead, okay, how am I going to deal with this? Instead of turning this person into an enemy, how can I turn this person into an ally? And Bob Berg is just wonderful. I really suggest you guys, get his books. He is just the nicest man, most gracious man. I'm a huge fan as well. He's, he really walks his talk. I mean, he's one of these type of people who you see on stage, or you read his book, and he is just like that in person. Amazing, and you can't say that about everybody. All the then he really is genuine. So I definitely suggest you guys read Bob Berg's books, and he's on Amazon. You can check him out there. And great for my.
I wrote it down.
Absolutely, he has fantastic. The Go Giver, all these really great books that can really get your mind on, your head on straight for success. So yeah, protecting your time, not letting obstacles stop you, and focusing. I think that's another big problem most of us have. And Heidi would agree, we get like that too, is, completing one goal until finished.
Tiny object.
Anybody else have a problem with that? That is really important too, because we get distracted. We're so ADD in this technology age where we have our phones, we have our computers, we're all these different apps, and we're always distracted. We're always doing different things. Oh, Ben, did you want to join us? You can pop on and let me let you in. We got Ben Tate. Hi, Ben.
Hey, Ben's in the house. Hey, Ben.
Hey.
Where is he?
Well, we see something, but we don't see your face yet. Something's going. Let's see.
How are you?
Good. We can't see you, Ben. Are you there?
Yeah, it's just my camera. It's kind of broke.
Oh, your camera.
Oh,
okay. So, Ben, tell us about yourself. Are you struggling with any issues with your mindset, with keeping on track?
I'm a party guy.
You're a what?
I'm a party guy.
You're a party guy? You like to party?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So you're not really here for business? You're here to party?
Yeah.
Okay, Ben. All right. Well, do you have any questions for us, Ben?
Why do you look so pretty?
Oh, well, thank you, Ben. Well, we appreciate that, but we're talking about business today, so I'm just going to take you off and have a great day. Oh,
bye, Ben.
Bye, Ben. Oh, boy. Does anybody legitimately like to jump in and have a question? This is, I guess.
That's like the trolls on Periscope. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Exactly. So I'm just
one thing people have is how to, One thing people really need to learn is how to use these tools appropriately, how to interact, there's a time and place for everything. And I think that the sad part is that when you kind of try to, it's kind of like when people take over your conversation when you're teaching and then they try to tell all about their stuff and themselves. We want to give people the opportunity to share. We think it's really important that you get to share, what you're doing, et cetera. This really is a forum for open talk and open discussion about, whatever issues you might be having in business. This is not a place, if you're having relationship issues, I can give you a couple of great people on Blab that you can go talk to, and that wouldn't be us. I mean, business relationships, yes. So I think finding the right channels is so important so that you don't waste your time and you get a lot more out of it,
Can we get anybody else would like to jump in who has a business question or has something they want to, mastermind about mindset, any struggles, any challenges you may be having? Just jump right in here. So we were talking about focus before we had that caller in, and focusing is really the most important thing you can do. There's a book, it's called The One Thing. I forgot who wrote it, but it's all about focusing on one thing to completion before starting something else. And it's really, really difficult, like I said, especially in this day and age, especially for entrepreneurs, because when you're an entrepreneur, you get ideas, right, Heidi? And you get excited about the ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And you're really, when you're enthusiastic and you want to try different things, you could find yourself going off in many, many different directions. And a lot of times when you're doing that, nothing gets completed. So it's really important to, going back to what I said earlier about getting your priorities straight. You may have all these ideas and stuff, but maybe some of those ideas are not for now. See what's on your plate now. Jot down those ideas that projects that you want to do. Maybe that, plan that out in 3 to 6 months from now, but make sure you get done the projects that are in front of you instead of leaping off to something else.
Oh my gosh. Think about it like Blab and Periscope. Christina told me about Periscope one day and I was on it the next, and all of a sudden it overtook so much of my time. Now I love Periscope and I've figured out a way to use it for business. But I did drop everything. It was another shiny object. And we have to realize that those shiny objects can help or hinder our business. So, maybe be a little more strategic than I am, because I happen to be very guilty of shiny object syndrome. I love Blab. I've started a new channel too, as Christina and I have together. She has one. I can see the potential of a medium like this for so many reasons. But then again, if you're not ready, just maybe sit back and watch and get to know the things, don't jump in like I did, head first, feet first, I don't know, butt first, and not know what the heck I was doing.
Well, sometimes, you have to have a balance, like something like getting on Blab or getting on Periscope as an early adapter. When you kind of see something really being, a really great tool to reach a lot of people, you do kind of want to get involved, but you don't want to you suck yourself in. It's easy. Same thing happened to me. I was so excited, like the first 2 weeks of Periscope, I'm like, going crazy. Now I've kind of calmed myself down and said, let me focus and be a little more strategic about it, like I do with LinkedIn. I was mentioning, Heidi, before you were on about LinkedIn, about as part of my daily strategy, every morning I use the Connected app, and then I connect with at least 10 people a day on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has proven itself to be a great way for me to attract new clients and customers. So it works for me, and it's somewhere where I want to spend my time. You've got to find where your target audience is. Now, if Periscope or Blab is where all your audience is hanging out, then of course you're going to want to put more of that energy there. But you want to, with social media, it becomes so overwhelming. You could feel like you have to be everywhere. And there's certain sites that I don't spend a lot of time on, like Instagram, for example. I'm on there, it's more for fun. I post the pictures and this and that. But for me, I really don't use Instagram as a business tool, but a lot of people do, And so you really have to find your platform of what you're comfortable with and spend time on that one and focus on that one. And I think the bottom line, when we talked about today in the title, mindset for success and profit, it all comes back to, again, what are you putting out each day that's going to bring you back? Ask yourself this question every day. It's going to bring you back a profit. How, are you an email marketer? Are you putting out emails that are going to sell an event or a product or a webinar? And that's going to bring you something back. Are you a salesperson? Do you have to make a certain amount of sales calls each day? Whatever you have to do, think in terms of getting those tasks done first. Those are the most important tasks that you can do, is eliminating stuff that may be, busy work, right, Heidi? Like that busy work you get involved in, that really, if you look at everything you have to do for the day and say, what's busy work? Busy work is stuff that, maybe you need to, jazz up your website here and there, or little tweaks or this, but you're spending too much time on it. Or maybe you're spending too much time writing articles if they're not bringing back a return on your money. And you should be, focusing on building your LinkedIn connections, so it's really, you have to look at where you can, and a lot of times busy work is where people are most comfortable. Wouldn't you say, Heidi, where they get really in a comfort zone in that, and they're like, they're like, well, I like writing articles. So I'm just going to write them all day, and I'm not going to go make my sales calls, so, and that can put you in that.
Busy work too, for me, sometimes my head's not in the game. I'm not ready to do something serious. So I find busy work to, kind of occupy my time. At least I feel productive. So, and you can't do that every day, but there's always one day of the week that I just don't feel like doing anything. And so I do that busy work, the stuff that, I could do without thinking about it, but I'm not having to use my creative mind, or, I'm not having to manage this or do that. So, I think for everybody it's different, but I think you're absolutely right. You need to focus on the high level activities. If you're a business owner and you want to make money, you need to find the places where you're going to have the greatest return on your investment. And, I know we're going to probably talk about this at some point at another session about outsourcing and, handing off projects to other people. Just be thinking about that. That's all part of your mindset for success and profit. You have to be able to give up something in order to achieve your goals. And I see we both work with a lot of business owners that want to do everything themselves. And you know what? They're probably going to be mildly successful, but I doubt that they'll be wildly successful, because they're not, they just don't want to give up control for whatever reason. I only can say this because I was one of them. For many years, I wanted to do everything. Now I'm glad I learned how to do everything, but now I don't have to do everything,
Right. And it is really important to outsource, especially some of that busy work that you get in your comfort zone about. And, and then you think that, like that's a trap we can get into. We think, oh, we're so productive. We got so much done today, but it didn't lead us toward our goals. It might have been stuff that, we really didn't have to do. But Heidi had a good suggestion of putting that on a certain day or time where, that you still need to get some of those tasks done. Another thing you can do, which I like to do, is I like to schedule my week where Mondays and Fridays, I don't like to schedule too much. I rather work harder Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I also do work a couple hours on the weekend as well. But for some reason, Friday, I like to be done by 1:00, just to have that, not schedule anything. And Monday, I'll work a little in the morning, but I like to take some time too, because those are the end of the weekdays, if possible. So see if you work for yourself, how you can schedule, your days. I think it's a big myth that we think we have to work 60, 70 hours a week and kill ourselves, because I don't think many of those hours are productive. You
Right.
can have really productive blocks or 3-4 hour blocks of time where you get more done than in an entire 10-hour time where you're really not, you're doing a lot of, meaningless work. You think, oh, I'm busy, I'm working, but you're really not. Maybe, it's not really productive work. So I think keeping that focus and keeping your eye on the task and using other people to get things done too is leveraging your time, which Heidi suggested with outsourcing, which is really, really crucial. So we have some more people in. Does anybody want to jump in and tell us your biggest challenge with your mindset and, keeping your head in the game? We've got, I want to say hello to some people. We have Jeremy, Simon, Mike, Paul. I'm going to scroll down here. Let's see who else we have. And make sure to follow us, everybody. Rocky Ladies here. Follow us, and we will follow after the show. We will go back and follow you back. And you could tell Little Bird here. And of course, if you like us, give us the little hands up sign over here. And Heidi listed the book is Gary Keller, The One Thing, and excellent book. Really, I would suggest another book you should read. A great, great book. So let's see if we have it. We have Roz, Ben 8. Oh, that was Ben. Okay. And Daryl left. Okay. Does anybody want to join in? Anybody brave want to jump into the seat or have any questions for us? You just type in here some questions.
You want to tell them what our format's going to be moving forward? Yeah. I know it's as far as time wise.
Yeah, because we're already over, right? We're going to be wrapping this up in a couple of minutes. And I first want to tell them about what we have coming up, which is really exciting. We're going to be doing a Business Mastery Mastermind program, which is a membership program, which each week we're going to be actually doing a private format where we're going to teach you a different skill and tool and share, really important. We have 60 different topics, really important information with you. And we're also going to have the opportunity to mastermind as well. And we're going to have a private Facebook group, and it's going to be really exciting. And that's at businessmasterymastermind.com. I don't know if you want to type that in on the sidebar there. And we're starting that in about 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to be actually doing shows where private trainings where we're going to train you on Periscope, on Blab. LinkedIn is our big thing. And I have so many different things to teach about LinkedIn, about how to tag and sort your connections and actually into groups and things that you probably don't even know about that you can do on LinkedIn. And it's really exciting ways you can connect with people. And it's something, and Heidi is really loves LinkedIn Pulse and great ways you can track new clients through LinkedIn Pulse. So it's going to be, if you look on the website, we have all the topics listed, with marketing, online marketing, social media. Heidi, anything I'm forgetting?
Oh, direct mail, email, cause marketing. Oh, just any kind of marketing you can think of, we've put it there. And if we haven't, you tell us and we will. And, we're experts in a lot of these topics, but we also plan to bring in experts in specific areas that we follow. So there may be times, probably, I don't know, maybe every 6 or 8 weeks where we'll have someone come in and join us and talk about different aspects of running a business. The main thing is that we will be covering all the topics that we feel will help anyone to create a successful, wildly successful business. And I don't know what happened, but Christina, we lost you. Does that mean that the program's over? No. I found out with Blab, you have to X out of everybody first, and then you X yourself out, and the recording stops. So I think we're still recording. So Christina, hopefully you'll come back soon. We miss you. And if anybody does have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. And again, follow everybody that you'd like that maybe was on the chat. Once the chat is over, you'll see the replay come back. You can watch the replay and you can see all the people that were in the room and you can actually follow them, which is what I did. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for the claps. Yay. Just for listening in on this conversation. It's nice when you have people you can talk to. Christina and I have these two-way conversations all the time. And so now we have a two-way conversation where we have a bunch of people who can actually listen in and join in if they want to. So next week, we'll have up here pretty soon about what we're going to be talking about. And hopefully you all will be able to interact maybe a little bit more and share your challenges. And again, starting next week, our show is going to be, I believe, at 11:30. We're going to do an 11:30 to 12 because we'll be going right into our mastermind program. In about 3 weeks, we start. I think it's the third week in October. We'll be starting the new mastermind format with all of the new topics, etc. So be on the lookout for that and join, and you'll have access to everything, all the audios, all the videos, all the many, many resources. Thank you all for being with us today, and catch you next week. Bye-bye.